Join me right now on Kumite TV is Jamaican bantamweight sensation Ode Osbourne. What's going on, Ode?
What's going on, my man? What's going on? Or in Jamaica,
Not
we say
much, man.
wagwan, man, wagwan, wagwan.
Now, you're gonna get some big exposure pretty soon, man, on ESPN. You know, a lot of people might not know who you are, even though you've been on the grind for years now. Who is Ode Osbourne?
Yeah.
Where are you from? What is your sporting background?
Man, Ode Osbourne came up out the mud. Literally, man. Literally, Ode Osbourne came up out the mud. And when it, like I said before, man, when it comes to like exposure and I've been in this game for a long time, and I've like surpassed where I'm like, oh man, I want everyone to pay attention to me. I do care. I do want people to know who I am, but not for the reasons that I used to want people to know who I am. I want people to know who I am because I'll tell you a little bit about why, but I'll touch on my background. I was born and raised in Jamaica, Kingston, Jamaica, actually. I grew up there. I left the States. I left to the States when I was about 9 years old. And I tell this story to everybody, man. I remember when I was 7 years old, running around, climbing trees barefoot. I would look up in the sky at the airplanes, flying overhead. And I would see the airplanes, man, and I had this divine intervention, and I had that feeling in my soul that I was meant for something great. Like I thought, like, man, I need to be on that plane because I know my mission is to do something great somewhere, so I can either help my country or do something that God has me planned to do. That's always been my story, man. Ever since I was a kid, I've always remember that day, just always looking up at the airplanes, having that feeling that I was destined to be something great, man. And I didn't know what it was, but I always grind. Like I always just grind to be something, and I never knew what I was meant to be, but I always was just like a super hard worker, and I didn't know what I was working for, but I just always did that, man. I'm grateful now. I'm honestly blessed because, like I said, man, we didn't have much in Jamaica growing up, and now even the opportunity to fight in Las Vegas is a blessing. You know what I'm saying? Like when you come from when you know what I'm saying, when you come from not having a lot to now having just something simple as a car, like that means more to me than anything. You know what I'm saying? Like money to me means absolutely nothing. It don't mean anything to me. Like people should never attach money to my name. I want to make a lot of money so I can help a lot of people. Now that's a different story. You know what I'm saying? I want to be able to have money so I can have reach in the community. No, I was gonna say I don't know if you know this. I also I work in a school, so I would love for my kids who also face similar backgrounds that didn't do a lot of the kids have had people tell them that they're not going to be anything in life, or they grew up in rough situations. So I would love for them to see somebody just like them make it out the mud. You know what I'm saying? And say, forget what people say about you and stick to your passion. Because if you stick to your passion and you grind every single day, it can happen. No matter what people say, it can happen. And it should give them hope. It should give the kids I work with in the school hope that they one day can be whatever they want to be. There's all this saying in movies and books and stuff. You can be whatever you want to be. And I want to be that stature to them, to show them that they really can be whatever they want to be in life. You know what I mean? So yeah, man.
Well, you are doing it, man. You're doing it with action, not just words. You're expressing yourself right now, but you are going out there, putting in the work, getting out there fighting, and building a great record. Your professional record sits at 7-2. When you look back at that, those 9 fights, what were some of the pivotal moments in your career that has propelled you to where you are at right now?
Pivotal moments in my career, definitely. I would say one of the most, the moment that really had a huge, drastic impact on me, that really grew me as a fighter and as a person and made me climb out the well and become who I am today, was when my trainer of 5 years died in a motorcycle accident. And, now after that, that's what I had. After that, I had my first 2 losses, man. I didn't, you know what I mean? It was always been just me and my mom growing up. So I never really had a father. I have a stepdad now, but I never really had a father figure in my life to really push me and teach me discipline and stuff like that. And when I lost my trainer, man. That was it was definitely difficult. And then I had to go to a different gym, who that gym had a different way of teaching. You know what I mean? Different style of teaching. Than what I was used to. My trainer was used to, you know what I mean? He motivated me and he taught me how to be a man, how to be just, and how to live, and how to be a martial artist. And he believed in me. And you know, the gym I left to was completely different. They're more like military mindset kind of. You know, I'm not. You know, it wasn't for me. And I think having those first two losses, man, I never lost my amateur career, never lost as a pro, and then coming like, you know, two back-to-back losses after losing my trainer, man, I had like some dark times where I thought like I was gonna quit fighting for one split second. I just did not. I didn't enjoy it anymore, man. It kind of, you know what I mean? Like it didn't. I lost the fun in fighting, you know. But man, I found Pure Vita where I'm at right now, and then my wrestling coach now at the gym. He was actually my high school and college wrestling coach, and he's my wrestling coach now in fighting. You know, he's always believed in me and told me I was going to be great things. And you know, that's the thing that I think really made me who I am today, is that I was fortunate to have people that believe in me in my life, and that's all it takes, man. And it's just one or two people to believe in you to get that spark. You know what I'm saying? It's all you need. All someone ever needs is that spark. Just that once you get that spark, and that's all you need, man. Just one little kick in the butt. You know what I mean? Once you get that little boom, then you got it. And once you get it and you got it, you take off and you just go and you never stop grinding. You know, and that's what it's become for me. I've never stopped, and I always want the kids I work with in my school to see that I never stop trying for what I want to believe, what I want to achieve, and so that when they fail at something like a test or, you know, something simple that they can't, you know, find something online, I'm like, man, I tell them that every time, like, don't ever stop. You know, keep doing what you want to keep pursuing your dreams. Don't stop. You fail at this test now, but you might get an A on the next one if you study and you grind.
So it's safe to say your first trainer, a piece of him is always entering the cage with you, and it's going to be the same way on July 16th when you make your Contender Series debut. You predicted this. I watched the interview last year in October when you said, hey, I will be on the Contender Series, or I'll be in the UFC by next summer, and here we are.
I know. You know, it's crazy. I had an interview with the same guy today again, and I predicted this. I predicted this about 6 months ago. 6 months ago, I said, I'm going to be in the Contender Series in summer and in the UFC. I will do this because, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm Jamaican, man. That's what we do. We're like some of the hardest working people you'll ever meet are Jamaicans, man. We work super hard. The fastest man in the world is Jamaican. You know, Usain Bolt. I'm about to be the fastest man in the octagon. I don't know if you ever watched my fights, but I'm literally lightning fast. And but the difference is I know how to use my speed to where people just kind of use wasted motion, wasted speed. I'm very composed in my speed. But yeah, man, I'm like a fortune teller out there, man.
Well, the fastest man in the world is Jamaican, and actually the most famous fortune teller is Jamaican too.
No kidding. You know
who that is?
No, I do not.
I think you might be too young to remember Miss Cleo.
Oh yeah, call me now for your free reading.
Yeah,
I remember Cleo. Yeah, man. I'm surprised you remember that. That's crazy. That's all Jamaicans know Miss Cleo.
Yeah, man. I loved her, man. She was great. Great.
Man. Call me now for your free reading.
Yeah. You know, I used to be on the BET, you know, a lot when I was young. So
that's what's up, man. That's what's up.
All right, you're facing Armando Villareal. You know, what are your thoughts on him and how he stacks up against you?
My thoughts on Armando Villareal, and how he stacks up against me. I would say that he doesn't pose much of a threat in any position. When I say that, I'm not underestimating him. You know what I mean? I'm not at all underestimating him, but I don't see a possible way that he could threaten me on the feet or on the ground. Here's why. on the feet, I feel that I'm gonna give him so much sauce, so much heat that he's just gonna do what he does when he gets heat. He shoots aimlessly, and he's gonna shoot. And he adapted to wrestling. He didn't grow up. I don't think he wrestled in high school or whatever. I wrestled in high school and college. I had one of the best wrestling coaches, Ben Holmes, and he only started MMA wrestling. You know what I'm saying? Like he's gonna shoot, and he's gonna feel what it's like to shoot up against a wrestler, and he's gonna be like, oh snap, you know what I mean? It's like there's a scene in Batman, right, where Bane meets Batman, and Bane meets Batman in the city, and Batman punches him up, boom, 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 and Bane grabs him, right? Bane breaks him over his shoulders, breaks him over his knees, and he's like, Batman cuts the lights off, because Batman's Batman, he cuts the lights off. So he's like, I'm good in the dark. So he boom and hits the light switch, right? Cuts the lights off. And Bane laughs at him. He laughs at him because he's like, Batman, you just adapted the dark. Like I was molded by the dark. Like this is dark and this is me. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I feel about Armando. If he tries to take me down, I'm like, you can try to take me down, but that's what I grew up wrestling. If you coming into my world, that's fine. You know what I mean? And okay, by some fluke, he catches me in an exchange on a takedown. I'm gonna explode up, or I'm gonna snap a submission on. I'm just very explosive. I don't see him just keeping up. You know what I'm saying? Like my fast twitch reflexes. Like now that I don't have school, I'm on summer vacation. I'm able to train 3 or 4 times a day. Usually, I'm only able to get one training session in a day before my fights, and I train one training session in a day before my fights because I have school. Now I'm able to get 3 or 4. Man, you're dealing with a whole nother animal. It's like the mindset I have is that I'm just gonna grab him and squeeze, and he's gonna disintegrate like Thanos. But that's the level that my mentality is at right now. Hitting 3 or 4 a day. That's what my reflexes are supercharged. You know what I mean? Like it's supercharged. So I'm gonna put on a performance that I've never ever put on. You know what I mean? So it's gonna be even interesting for me because I don't even know what I can do. I know it's gonna be some gangster shit, but I know it's gonna be something spectacular for the fans and for everyone that wants. I know Dana White wants to see exciting. He wants to see excitement. So it's gonna be good for him because I feel like there's an old movie I used to watch called Never Back Down, right? And they're saying one of my favorite quotes: "You got to give the people what they want." You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna give the people what they want, and I feel like no one's ever really seen true martial arts. Like I am like the Picasso of MMA. Like they thought Conor McGregor was this like, oh man, awesome fighter. Like he just goes out there and does crazy. Like they're like, I'm about to Ali said it. I'm about to shake up the world. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna be good. It's gonna be good, man. It's gonna be really, really good to unleash me into the world. And I'm saying all this not out of being cocky, but just confident. You know what I mean? I'm very confident in my abilities because I don't really have a lot to lose. I love fighting. I really do. I love fighting. I'm willing to go out there and give it my all. And my coach has made a comment. He's like, Armando, he don't like to quit. I thought to my head, like, he doesn't like to quit. Well, I guess he's gonna need to die then. You know what I'm saying? That's his only way out. Is either the ref stops it or he dies in there by my hands. It sounds a little violent, but that's a level. That's where that's where I'm at right now.
You go to Vegas. You have the performance of your life. Dana White calls you. You get that contract. You enter the UFC bantamweight rankings. What separates you from everybody else?
What separates me from everybody else, like I said, I feel like I am the Picasso of MMA. I can literally do anything I want to do whenever, however I want. Like usually people visualize when they're in a cage, they visualize like when they're in a fight situation, right? They're like, okay, I'm gonna throw this jab, I'm gonna throw this cross, or I'm gonna throw a head kick. So for me, it doesn't look like a jab or a cross or a head kick. It looks like one brush stroke, right? So for instance, for me, I'm visualizing, okay, jab, cross, boom, boom, boom. If I hit him, I'm gonna connect. If he steps back, I'm gonna throw a head kick. If he steps back from that, I'm gonna throw a spinning back fist into a takedown. And you know what I'm saying? I see multiple different variables in one brushstroke, all in like point 0.1 second. You know, it's like a brushstroke image that I see so vivid when I fight. So that's why I always say I'm the Picasso of MMA, and I think that separates me from everybody else.
All right, one last thing before I let you go. A fellow Jamaican, Aljamain Sterling, is at the top of the division in the UFC. They're proposing that he fights Peter Yan for the interim title in Russia. Give me your breakdown of that fight, because I know you've been watching these guys, right?
You know what's crazy? I really don't watch MMA that much. I really don't watch fighting, man. I think life is about balance, right? It is about balance. Too much of one thing is not good. And I'm all about my balance, man. Like that's why I work in a school with kids, because I feel that me giving back to the community and society is one thing, but another thing is that I need them sometimes more than they need me. And I love, my like just disconnecting sometimes. Sometimes I just disconnect from fighting when I'm outside of the gym. And that's my balance right there. And whenever I'm in the gym, I think I need that balance from the school and from the kids. Sometimes they stress me out, you know what I mean? But I really don't watch fighting that much. I don't get super in depth into it. Like I said, I used to a lot of time. I used to be all into it, and I used to watch all the fights all the time, and I used to do, all that stuff. And I started training. I used to train at Rufus Sport, man. I've seen, I used to train with Tyrone Woodley, Anthony Pettis, Sergio Pettis, all those guys. So even when I meet UFC fighters, I went to Vegas at the UFC facility, and I met Benavidez and all those guys, and I was just like, that's cool. It didn't really mean much to me, man. Like at this point in my life, like I'm so far past all that. Like I know how great I am. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, the UFC means it will mean a lot to me. But those fighters don't mean much to me because I know what I want to accomplish in that. And I as another fellow Jamaican, I hope he does his thing, because we gotta support each other. Not, you know what I mean? One Jamaican to another. Like I respect him because he's Jamaican. We gotta. There's not a lot of us out there doing these things, and we gotta support each other. But as opposed, when it comes to all these other fighters, I'm just like, you know what? They're humans, man. People are people. It don't matter if they're in the UFC, if they're famous actors, if they're the president of the United States. People are people, and titles don't mean nothing to me anymore. That's just how I look at life, man. You know what I mean? Like, what separates the fastest man in the world from me? Nothing. Just that he's a little bit more faster than me. What separates Albert Einstein from me? Nothing. He's a little bit more smarter than me. At the end of the day, if I cut him, he bleeds just like myself. So that, you know what I mean? That's just how I view people in life. I really don't get like, oh my God, let's get an autograph or a picture. Now I will. Let's get a picture just for the fans and stuff like that. But I think I've grown up a lot over the years, and I think I tried to make a lot of mistakes to grow up. You know what I mean? So that I'm blessed that I've had to make those mistakes, because I wouldn't be where I am today if it wasn't for struggles. And I was actually talking to my wrestling coach Ben last night, and speaking of struggles, I ended up giving a homeless guy some money, right? And like 5 minutes after I gave him some homeless guy some money, I ended up losing my wallet. So it ended up getting stolen like 5 minutes after that, But that's just life testing you. And I didn't even get mad. Like, me and Ben, we laughed about it, because it's just the irony of it. Not just that, but I'm able to have a driver's license that I got stolen, and I got my card stolen, my Visa card or whatever. But all that's replaceable. I can go on my phone and lock all that stuff. You know what I mean? So it can be used. But all that's replaceable. I didn't get mad or upset about it. It was just like, you know what? That's cool. I'm gonna get it all replaced, and I'm blessed to be able to have something to get stolen. All
right, man. Well, July 16th, man, we're gonna see you step into that cage at Dana White Contender Series in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's good, man, talking to you, man, Ode, and hopefully we get many more chats in the future when you're in the UFC.
Oh, no doubt, for sure, man. Always feel free to hit me up anytime, because I always look out for the people that, you know, reach out to me when I'm a nobody. You know what I mean? When I am up there and people try to reach out to me when I'm up there, I'm gonna be like, you know, I'll pencil you in with my manager over here. But my guy from Asia who reached out when I was a nobody, he can get first place in line for sure. You know.
No doubt, man. No doubt. I appreciate that.